One woman, one life, vast wealth. Sophia Suttonfield would captivate the hearts of men with just a glance and a smile. As a beautiful dark-haired teen, she would run away with one such suitor from her home at Fort Wayne, Indiana. Jesse Ogdenbaugh, the headmaster of her school. While Jesse may have been absolutely smitten with Sophia, by the time they reached Texas, the pair split up. Abandoning her in the wilderness, Sophia did what she had to do, and as she claimed, made her way to the battle site of San Jacinto, the day after Texas won its independence from Mexico. April 22, 1836. Sophia nursed the wounded General Sam Houston back to health. It is believed that Sophia had traveled with the army as a camp woman and sold her services to the general.
Welcome to North Texas Revealed.
As an Indian trader and a member of the Texas House of Representatives, Holland Coffee lobbied the Texas Congress to pass a bill granting Sophia Ogdenbaugh a divorce from her missing husband, Jesse Augustine Ogdenbaugh. With the help of Sam Houston, the measure was passed. Sophia and Holland Coffee married January 19, 1839. Coffee's wedding gift to Sophia was 1/3 league of land, about 1,476 acres, which would be only the first of her many acquisitions. Making their way to Coffee's station at Preston Bend on the southern bank of the Red River, Sophia proved to be a powerhouse behind the congressman. Coffee had been in this area of Texas for years and had developed trading posts at popular crossings along the Red River. Trade between natives and pioneers of the region thrived at Coffee's station and fed Coffee's desire to accumulate massive amounts of wealth. Coffee successfully negotiated treaties with the Indians and through his trading skills, supplied the region with plenty of alcohol and much-needed supplies. His trading practices were called into question at one point for trading guns and alcohol to the Indians for supplying stolen horses and other livestock. Sam Houston bailed Coffee out by making him an Indian agent with the power to negotiate with the Indians. It is said that Coffee did arrange treaties with native tribes for the return of white captives in their possession. Coffee acquired his land originally by squatting on abandoned property within Washita Bend, which would later be called Preston Bend. But after the Revolution, both Sophia and Holland Coffee were able to add to their land holdings through their status as early settlers before the Texas Revolution. These vast holdings allowed them the ability to capitalize in the slave trade and to develop the town of Preston as one of the area's social and economic hubs, featuring their 3,000-acre Glen Eden plantation. Both Coffee and his wife Sophia loved to host parties, and both were social butterflies. Many officers, soldiers, and statesmen traveled to their plantation for evenings filled with music, dancing, and socializing. Holland and Sophia took in Coffee's niece, Mary Elizabeth Jewell, age 4 after Holland's sister passed away in 1843. Sophia raised her as her own, but Holland Coffee would only be around for a few more years. Mary would remain with Sophia until she turned 19. In 1859, she married William J. Mosley, who had served with the Texas Infantry during the Civil War. Mary Elizabeth would pass away a widow at age 71 in Midland, Texas, where she was buried beside her husband. Sophia and Holland invited another of Holland's nieces to come from Mississippi, Miss Eugenia, who was 14 years old at the time. Within 2 months of her visit, she had met and married Charles Ashton Galloway, 28, a trader from Fort Washita. A short time after this, it was Charles who would end the life of Holland Coffee by stabbing him with a Bowie knife. Now a genuine widow at age 31, Sophia, plantation estate was in debt to Holland's brother, Thomas J. Coffee of Galveston. She would eventually pay off the debt in March of 1854. As a striking beauty with good health, charm, and vast holdings in land, slaves, and businesses, Sophia, widowed days would be short. By 1848, Sophia had taken up with Major George N. Butt of Virginia, and by December of 1847, they had tied the knot. George would manage the day-to-day operations of Glen Eden, beginning in 1848 with the purchase of an 8-year-old boy named Harry for $300. About this time, Sophia took in her little sister, 15-year-old Mary Frances, who had made the journey from Indiana with Sophia's brother George Walker Suttonfield. Within a year, Mary had married 35-year-old Major Thomas G. Murphy at the age of 16. And though these were happy times for Sophia, the gold rush to California would hit the nation, and 3 of the family which she had gathered round had rushed off with it. She would remain at the plantation with her husband George until his death in February of 1863, which occurred on his return trip from Sherman after having sold cotton. Having been murdered a mile and a half from Sherman, his body wasn't found for a week. Sophia married Judge James Porter, October 2, 1865, and they lived together at Glen Eden until his death in 1886. Before the Civil War, Porter and his partner Hall contracted to carry mail from Independence, Missouri to Santa Fe, New Mexico, which they did until the outbreak of the war. According to the Texas Historical Commission, Sophia played a vital role in defending the state of Texas during the Civil War. Federal troops had entered region of Preston Bend looking for Colonel James G. Borland, who commanded the cavalry regiment defending the northern border of Texas. While hosting the Federals, Sophia slipped away from the drunkenness and swam her horse across a frigid Red River that night to reach the Confederate cavalry to warn the colonel of the imminent danger, thus saving the day and helping prevent a federal invasion of North Texas. For this, the commission erected a historical marker at Preston Bend touting her actions as the Confederate Lady Paul Revere. After the war had ended, James and Sophia moved to Waco for a time, though keeping their slaves busy at Glen Eden with the help of an overseer. James and Sophia would continue to raise cotton and cattle. While Sophia reported high profit on cotton sales in 1865, this was probably the last year on the books to report such high profits, as the slaves were emancipated and the workings at Glen Eden would change drastically. James and Sophia Porter continued to have social gatherings at Glen Eden, but after Sophia found religion in 1869, after joining the Methodist Church, the dances had come to an end. After 21 years of marriage, James would pass on September 10, 1886, at Glen Eden, with burial at the Preston Bend Cemetery. Sophia Porter would mourn her loss, but found some solace in philanthropy, giving away the one thing she still had plenty of: land. She hired a nephew, J.W. Williams, as manager of Glen Eden, and in 1887 they reported revenue of $3,895 from 41,000 pounds of cotton produced that year. Sophia had given 5 acres of land to the Methodist Church in 1869. By contrast, in 1896, Sophia had given 350 acres of land to the Southwestern University, valued at $10,000. But at last, the Cotton Queen and Confederate Lady Paul Revere would pass gracefully at the age of 81 on August 27, 1897, with burial beside her latest husband, James Porter, ultimately at Preston Bend Cemetery. After Sophia's death, the estate was given to Mary Elizabeth Jewell Mosley. While it's not possible to visit Glen Eden today, some of the logs used in the main plantation house were used to build Sophia's cabin, which resides at Frontier Village, located in Lloyd Park, Denison, Texas. The original site of Glen Eden lies beneath Lake Texoma, and much of the wood, despite being disassembled and numbered with plans for preservation, was mistakenly destroyed during the building of the Denison Dam. Who knows, with a visit to the Sophia cabin, you might just get a glimpse of the actual woman who left her mark on Texas in so many ways.
Thanks for watching, and remember to like and subscribe.